All right. So, hi. So, I was saying, so as Tushar already explained about today's webinar, before we begin, I hope everyone is keeping safe from the third wave of COVID, which is now spread over the nation. So, hope everyone is safe. So, as we wanted to cover today's webinar about SMTP and custom email connection. So, what is SMTP? And how do we connect custom emails, and why there is a need of custom emails in Kylas or any other CRM for that matter, right? So many times what happens is we do prefer email as a main channel of communication with our clients, right? So, and in the course of interaction with our customers, we sometimes do not use Gmail or Outlook as a email service provider, but we prefer to go ahead with some other email solutions like Zoho email or any other email like GoDaddy sometimes, right? So how do we connect those email service providers in Kailas, and how can we send emails in Kailas? How can we receive emails? So we had already have one session on email topic earlier, but let us repeat some of the points that we had covered earlier, and let us see how we can connect the SMTP. So as always, this is how our website looks like. And if you haven't created any account on Kailas so far, we can go to this website, and either we can schedule a demo with our pre-sales team, or you can directly go ahead and sign up and create your own account through Get Free CRM. Once the account is created, we can simply click on this login and it takes us to the page which looks like this. And here I can log in with my account, email and password. So that's a very simple login method. And once I log in, this is how the dashboard of Kailas looks like, right? So now as we are interested in the email today in today's webinar, so let me tell you how we can navigate to email settings. So we can click on the CRM settings button, which is available on the bottom left. When I click on the CRM settings, it takes me to the settings section of Kailas, and there is a communication section, as we can see on the screen. And under communication, there is email settings and email templates. So let us talk about the email settings page first. As you can see on my screen, there are three options that I can see. One is the Gmail and Outlook, which we are very much familiar of, and we have covered these two in one of our earlier webinars. So they are simple OAuth connections. When I click on this Gmail, it opens up a Google authorization model, and I can simply put my Gmail account ID and password in order to connect my Google account if I'm using G Suite, right? Or my personal Gmail as well. Same goes for Outlook. If I'm using Outlook, I can simply click on this button and it opens up Microsoft's OAuth portal, where I can enter my email ID and password, and those emails are connected over here. But today we are going to understand how we can connect a custom email service provider, which is not as popular as Google or Outlook, but they are providing email services. For example, as I took an example of Zoho emails and GoDaddy. So they have their own methods of connections, right? So today I'm going to cover how we can connect. So if I want to connect any other email service provider, I need to simply click on this image called others. And this is the model that is shown in front of me. Okay. Now we need to enter the port and the host and our email ID and password. So we are very much familiar of this email ID or username or password. These are nothing but our own email ID and password that we use in order to log into our inbox on day-to-day basis. But we need to enter some more details which are over here, right? So how do we get those details? You need to simply do a simple Google search. Let's say Zoho email SMTP IMAP settings, something like that. It takes us to a particular service provider's support page. So everybody like Zoho or GoDaddy or even Google and Outlook, they can be connected via SMTP. So whenever you do a simple web search, you should be getting the details like the port and the SMTP server that are needed over here. Okay, so I did a simple search for Zoho because I have one of my account created on Zoho. So I will be using that account to show you how do we connect SMTP. Also, when I did a search, it shows me this. Okay, so in order to connect IMAP or SMTP, we need to enter the IMAP server name, which is this, and the port. And similarly for SMTP, in order to send outgoing emails, so we need to enter the SMTP details of the email service provider. So let us enter them one by one. So this is the imap.zoho.in. We have to enter that into the IMAP section. I'll enter this over here, and the port is nothing but 993. Okay, so this is 993. It is a TLS port as mentioned over here. So if this is SSL as yes, that means we have to toggle this. We have to check this box of TLS as checked. And similarly for SMTP, so this is the port. And the port and the server. Which is 587 in this case, right? And this is a non-TLS server, so I'm keeping this unchecked. Now I have to enter my email ID. So I'm using one of my colleagues' account. So that email ID goes like this. I'll just copy it from one of my notepad and paste it over here. And in some of the service providers, email and username are different, but in most of the cases, email ID and username are same. So in this case of Zoho, the email ID and username are common. So I have pasted the same information in both the sections. And the last thing is about password. So I have to enter that password which I use in order to log into my inbox, right? This is the simplest amount of information that we have to add in order to connect an account, and we have to simply click on this connect button. Once I click on connect, you can see there is this email ID shweta.kylas@zohomail.in is now connected. Okay, and now since this email is connected, what I can do is I can simply go to my leads or contact section, and if I would like to send the email to any of my contact or lead, I can do it. So let me add a new contact over here. And let me enter one of my Gmail account in order to test. Okay, and when I save this, this contact is now created over here. If I go to the productivity section on the contact details page, I get to see this email icon. When I click on this email icon, there is a button called compose. When I click on compose, it opens up a typical email composer that we are very much familiar as we use Google, Outlook, or any other email service provider, right? Let's say enter a mail subject called test email via SMTP, and I send this. So the moment I send this email, there is a email conversation that is built over here, and I can go to the details of this. I can see what was the email, since in this case there was only subject in the email. So the subject is there and body is empty, right? And let me go to my inbox that I have opened up in this new tab, and let me see if we have got any email. So this is the email that we have recently received from our account that was connected. So imagine this is one of your customer with whom you are dealing some deal is going on in the system, or there is a proposition that is going on, and we want to communicate with the customer with the help of our own SMTP email. So here what we are trying to achieve over here is that you don't have to actually go to Zoho email and log in. So there is another interface of Zoho email as well, right, where I could go and I can log in, but I don't need this. Why? Because I am now able to connect my Zoho email or any other email within Kylas itself, and whatever conversations that are going on with any of the customers are actually tracked within the system itself. Now, if even if I, let's say, reply on this, so imagine your customer is replying, okay, that's a simple reply. When they reply, that reply is also getting tracked over here, and after few seconds this reply also comes to the system and it is shown over here, and the whole conversation is built, right? So it saves a lot of time and effort of ours to go to our common inboxes and see what conversation has happened, and then come to the CRM and update the information according to the conversation, right? All those efforts are minimalized just because we are able to connect any email service provider in Kailas. Now, because although SMS calls and WhatsApp, these are very popular way of communicating, but email has got its own place when we talk about the formal conversation. And most of the time during sales, the conversations are formal. Be it, let's say, we want to send them a proposal or a quotation or a order. All those conversations typically happens on email, right? So it becomes very, very essential to connect your email account through the CRM that you are using, and it is very much needed so that you can see all those conversation within the system and you can take appropriate actions, right? In fact, even if I can trigger the same conversation from a deal also. So imagine there is a deal in the system and there is a contact associated with the deal, let's say a BC test, right? So at a time on the deal section itself, if I initiate a conversation, all those contacts with whom there is a email ID associated are tracked over here, and I can send them emails, I can receive emails from them. The whole conversation is mapped over here, and based on the conversation, I can decide what is the next action to be taken. For example, there is a pipeline going on the deal. Right now, based on a conversation, let's say the customer showed some interest or something else, I can quickly change the pipeline stage and be on top of all of my clients. Right. So this is how this email conversation helps you. Now, other than manual emails, there are ways to send those emails automatically, and in order to send emails automatically we have to create some email templates. So there is a concept of templates in Kylas. How does this template helps me is simply I can create a template in order to send a mail which has a particular format. So let's say there is a the way we welcome our customers. The moment a customer shows some interest, or maybe let's say a deal is closed, so we want to thank you our clients, right? So that's an email which has got its fixed content, right? Or maybe the way you send the quotation to the customers, right? That must be a standard format in which all of your sales users are supposed to send a quotation, right? So what I can do is I can create a template called quotation. Let's say this template is going to work on contact or deal for that matter. Okay. And then the subject is, let's say, quotation from Kailas. I can enter my own content over here. Let's say dear contact, or in case of contact, I can have some variables also, right? And let's say I enter this content. Thanks for showing interest. Our team will get in touch with you soon. Okay. And I can create such email templates and I can save them. I can activate that email template. And once I activate that email template, it starts showing up on the composer section. So if I go to, let's say, deal, since that email template was created for deals, it will be shown in the deal emails. Right? So if I check on this, there is this template called quotation, and once I choose that template, this content is autofilled. I can of course remove or add some more text or maybe some media files along with this, and I can send this email to the customer. So it fast it the space of this conversation increases with the help of templates, right? So I can have a pretext message with me. I just customize it based on the customer's need or customer's designation or their role, and then I can send those emails to the end customer. So then the end customer receives a templatized email, right? So this is how the templates are used. And instead of deal, I can have a template of lead or contact also. So that let's say if I would like to address the person by their name, what I can do is I can create a contact template and I can use this variable. So for example, let's say welcome to contact, and now let's say I would like to address them by their name. So I am writing this variable as a first name over here. Right? And let's say, and if I create this template, if I go to email section of contacts, and let's say I want to send this email to this person with the help of the template, I can simply go to compose. When I choose the template, it replaces the variables, right? So if you notice, the variable that we have added over here is the first name, right? So what it is doing is it is actually replacing the first name of the customer at this place, so that this email is even more customized, looks even more personalized to the end customer who is receiving, right? So when I send this email, they actually receive a email with their own name in that, so it looks more connected, right? So this is how the templates are helpful to speed up the conversation, to make the emails more personalized and directed to the end customer. Okay, so this was about the templates. Now how do we automate the emails? Okay, so as we have took one of the webinar on the workflows, right? In workflows we had covered one of the action as send email. So let's say send email to contact. Now suppose there is a contact, and let's say whenever a contact is created, I would like to send a welcome email to everybody. So the moment a person has shown some interest, be it as a contact or a lead, I would like to welcome their interest in the system that in the product or service that we are selling, right? So I would like to acknowledge their interest so that they feel connected. Okay, there is somebody who has responded as soon as we have shown some interest, right? Because in reality, the moment your sales team will receive that inquiry and your sales team will go ahead and make a call or send an email, it may take a longer time, right? But we in the competitive world, we do not want to waste any of the time to reach out to our customers, right? We want to make the conversation as fast as possible. So what we can do is we can simply automate the initial part of conversation with the help of workflow. We can have an action called send email, right? And we can draft this email over here. So let's say that email should go from the contact's owner who has created the contact, and it should go to the contact's primary email, right? And one of the template we can use, which is welcome to contact, right? Now if I save this and save and activate this workflow, okay, if I go to a contact and let me create a new contact, let me use the same email ID because I've opened up that in one of my other tab. Now, assume this is a contact that has been created in your system through any, let's say we are sourcing contacts through import or some other social media platforms or anybody. From wherever this contact is created, you see there is already an email sent to this contact, to the email ID, which was of the contact. This was the from email ID from whom it is sent, and to the contact email ID, right? If I go to my inbox, I must have received welcome to Kylas. Hello, Abhi. Thank you for your interest, right? So this speeds up the conversation with the contact, right? So what we have done is we have first of all connected our email account, which was a Zoho email, right? And then we created a template which is there to faster the conversation, to have a templatized content and to look it more personalized to the customers. And once a email has been connected, a template has been created, then we can simply write some automations in order to send the emails to the contacts or leads or deals for that matter, to send to the end customer based on certain conditions. So this we have already covered in one of our webinar about workflows. If needed, we can put some more time on this, how we create a workflow, what can be a condition. So in this case, let's say I don't want to send this email to each and every contact which gets created. I would like to send it to only those contacts which, let's say, belong to a particular city, for example, right? So I can just simply write a condition over here that when a contact is created, its city is Mumbai, then only trigger this action, right? So this is how we can tweak around our workflows. Let's say if people are interested in different products, and every product has its own way of sending the quotation. Okay, so I can simply bifurcate my workflows based on products. For example, if I would like to send some kind of quotation automatically based on a pipeline stage, right, or based on the interest of the lead. So what I can do is I can simply write a condition that when a lead is updated, let's say the product or service which they are interested in is, for example, this one. This is one of my dummy product that is available in my system. And let's say the pipeline stage has been changed to a particular pipeline stage called refine requirement, suppose, just an example. So what it will do is now, and I can of course have the action as send email. Okay, and maybe some of the template. I'm taking this example of dummy template. So the idea over here is, now I wanted to send an email with respect to the quotation to the lead whenever the pipeline stage is moving to this particular stage, and only if the lead is actually interested in this particular product, right? So all those conditions I am writing in this condition section so that it filters out. So now how this workflow will be executed is, when a lead is updated, if the interested product is this, the pipeline stage is this, then only this email will go, right? So this is how I can put more filters and I can make my automation very precise so that it triggers only on a certain case but not for everything, right? So this is the way we can connect our email and create email templates and send emails with the help of workflows automatically.